We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
And as the chalice is lit, let us take a moment to be quiet, still our hearts and to still our minds, and to ready ourselves for being in this sacred place with these sacred people. Thank you. I need your help. Repeat after me. We are waiting. We are waiting. One more time. We are waiting. We are waiting. And again, we are waiting. We are waiting. I'm going to have a reading. I'm going to ask you to be a part of it as well. This is the season of anticipation, of expecting, of hoping, of wanting. This is the time of expecting the arrival of something or someone. This is the time of living in darkness, in the hues of unknowing, of being quiet, of reflecting on a year almost past, waiting for a new beginning, for a closing, for an end. This is the time for digesting the lessons of days gone past, anticipating the future for which we are waiting for a world which can know justice, waiting for a lasting peace, waiting for a bridge to span the divides which separate us, waiting for a promise or a hope for all of us. We are waiting. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. Those of you who are longtime members, you gather because this is a place that you know to be safe, a place where you know that you can experience your own personal spiritual journey. For those of you who are guests and visitors, my desire is that you experience that here too, that you have found your way into a welcoming, gracious, and open-hearted community. And should you come back one more time, you'll discover the same thing. So we would like to be able to take a moment to ask those of you who are our guests and visitors, if you're willing to stand, raise your hand, let us know your name and where you're from. That would be great. On my far right, anybody in that section? Yes, if you would, please. Thank you.
Hi, I am Sarah from New Hampshire. I'm here visiting my mom, my aunt.
Welcome, Sarah. Anybody else on that right side? My right side, your left. In the center section. First-time guest. Yes, if you would, please.
Rick and Eileen Povarsky, we're from Roanoke, Virginia.
Welcome. Anybody else in the middle? And on my far left, your right. First or second-time visitors? First in the back. Yes, ma'am, if you would, please.
My name's Celeste Thomas. I'm from the Woodlands, which is a northern suburb of Houston, and we're about here.
Welcome. Glad to have you here. And on the front, yes, if you would, please.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm here from Macon, Georgia, visiting my mom when
So, are there others? Yes, ma'am, if you would, please.
Martha Decker moved here a few months ago from North Carolina.
Welcome. Good to have you back. So, can I tell a story, Linda? So Linda's daughter did not want to sit down front. Linda's daughter wanted to sit in the back. And I gave instructions how Linda's daughter can sit in the back. You see where Linda's daughter's sitting. Welcome. We have a number of announcements that I want to bring to your attention. First of all, you saw the video of Joe Crookston. He will be here on December 13th, that's Saturday night. I know that you will want to be here. Some of the talent that comes into this place is extraordinary, and he is one of them. Please take the time. I know the holidays are awful on your scheduling, but it's going to be well worth your time, I think, to block those 2 hours out and come and be a part of that. The CARE Committee news, the new chairperson, the new chairperson, Candida Pisoni. Is she Candida? Yes. Did I do it right? Pisoni, yeah. It was close enough. Thank you, Candida. Give her all the support that you can. We're looking forward to seeing what you will be able to accomplish in the CARE Committee. Social justice news, Kathy Zeiser has asked to let me know that the UUCL Social Justice Efforts has a Facebook site where social justice issues and updates are publicized. And this from the membership committee. Today, we're pleased to welcome 9 new members to our UUCL. Please join us for cake afterwards and be sure to say hello to our new members during the coffee time. There will be no talk back, so you can linger with our 9 new members and get to know them a little bit better. Today's the last day to sign up for our community holiday dinner. Bring your favorite holiday dish. Cost is $10 per person, which would be paid for at the door, cash, check, and this is the box where you will sign up for small group dining. And I want you to see this box. This has been a mystery box, and this is, if you want to be part of the small groups, this is the box that you're going to put your sign-up sheet in, right? Excellent. Kathleen, if you would, please. I'm going to give this off to you. If you would, please take this back. Ann Harrison, this year, the children of our Sunday school will be working on a holiday giving project, and the organization will benefit our local Hilton Head Humane Society. This is a nonprofit shelter whose mission is to improve the lives of homeless cats and dogs over the past year. They have cared for more than 10,000 abandoned, injured, or abused animals. You can read more about them at hhhumane.org. So that is an important thing. We have a drop-off area in the foyer for Sunday school to accept donations now through December 21. I'm going to come back to December 21 in a moment, so hang on to that date. Then all the items will be delivered to the shelter for Christmas. The second part of the youth work is the kids in Sunday school will be holding our annual holiday cookie sale next Sunday, December 14th. If you'd like to help with this, please bring 1 or 2 dozen cookies to church, if possible with a copy of the recipe, and the kids will collect the cookies from you at the door And the sale will begin immediately following the service in the Clara Barton Room, which is the large room off to my right, your left, here in the church. The more people that can be a part, the better. You'll purchase these for $5 a plate, and all of that goes as a fundraiser to the congregation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Ann Harrison. Is Ann in the room? She's in the back. There, Ann. Everybody turn around, stare at Ann. Wave your hand. No. Talk to Ann Harrison about the cookie sales and the youth program. Thank you so much. Cookbooks are still here and they're being sold. How many have we sold? A lot. A lot. We'll take that as an. Oh. Very good. Thank you. Speaking of December 21st, we're going to have a special service Sunday morning, December 21st. It will be abbreviated. Coffee will be here when you get here. We'll bring our coffee in and just take time to talk about the Christmases past that we've had in our lives, the same way we would sit around a fire and talk about those days. We'll have an abbreviated service because later on that night at 5 o'clock, we will regather for our annual candlelight service. And I know that you will want to be a part of that as well, too. Trying to make it easy so that we can have our Christmas cookies and eat them, too. This is December 7th. This, of course, is Pearl Harbor Day, and we remember those lives that were lost and all that took place on the months and the days and the years after December 7th and the heartbreak that is war. And we also are reminded that the Native American tribes who originally stewarded this land around Malthus Road in Bluffton were the Kusabo, the Escamacu, and the Yamasee. We remember them in our legacy. And now, Dick Hood, if you would please, you have your opening words.
Good morning. Nice to see all of you on this gray day. I thought I moved south to have sun, and well, it hasn't delivered totally, but I guess we're better off. This is the last time I'm going to be in this pulpit prior to the holiday season, so I do want to, on behalf of my wife, Molly, and myself, wish all of you a very, very happy holiday. And as a gift to yourself, and I'm going to try this as a gift to me, if we could have just 48 hours or 72 hours of shutting off the newspaper, the phone, and all that reminds us of how, quite frankly, bad things are in our country. It doesn't mean that we should ignore them, but maybe as a gift to ourselves, we can at least put them aside for the moment. Charlie mentioned there's not going to be talkback because we're going to be welcoming new members. I will be, after I grab a cup of coffee, I'm going to go over and sit next, about where Cheryl is sitting over there. If anyone would like to come in and has a comment, criticism, or of course a compliment, you're welcome to come see me. I will be available there. This morning we're going to talk about beliefs, our UU beliefs. And rather than have opening words, I'd like to use a responsive reading. It's number 657. I read the big print, you read the italics. 657. The author of these words is a woman now passed on, Sophia Lyons-Fahs, who in the middle of the 20th century was considered a revolutionary religious educator. She worked for many, many years in our denomination and really changed religious education from something that was done by rote to a much more, yes, sir. Did I say 667? It's in my notes, it's 657. Thank you, Charlie. It's 657. My apologies. Okay, do we have that straight? 657. It matters what we believe. I'll tell you some other time about Sophia Lyons Fars. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Some beliefs are like shadows clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities. Some beliefs are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies. Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction. Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world. Thank you. I would hope that in lieu of talkback, please make it a point, if you're wearing a gold badge, to be sure to welcome at least 2 of our new members. That's your homework assignment for after church. In the meantime, please rise as you're willing and able. Our opening hymn is number 347. I hope I got that number right. I better check. Who's reassuring me? Someone. There we go.
This is the time where we share in our abundance, and I'd like to start by thanking everybody that's brought donations of non-perishable items, which we place on the back table, to help out the Sandalwood Community Food Pantry or Bluffton Self-Help. Just a reminder, be sure that when you make your donations that we're very grateful for, that you check the expiration dates on the items so that the pantries can actually use them. And now we will give our offerings to this community for the work that it does inside these walls and beyond. If you are one of our lovely guests today, please let the baskets pass. Your presence here today is our gift. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity.
And as we come to joys and concerns, I do want to ask you again, when you take your stone, hold that stone and take the sorrow, the concern that you have, and spiritually put it inside that stone. If you have that joy, put that joy inside that stone. And then as we gather the joys and gather the concerns together, we then begin to become that complete and whole community that offers support and shares the joys with each other. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gordon, and I have a joy and a concern. So let's get the concern out of the way. You all, of course, know Lynn Nordenberg, and that she's living in Pittsburgh now to be with her daughter. And if you're in contact with her at all, her daughter's been diagnosed with yet another ailment. And so if you'd like to give her a note of appreciation or concern, you can contact her. Now, the second thing I have is a joy. I watched the Ohio State-Indiana game last night until halftime. And judging by looking at it was hard to tell looking at the faces of the two coaches. Sometimes you get kind of an indication of what. And the Indiana coach was just so there, just mellow. And he didn't really show any strong emotion. And as it would be, I didn't care much for Ohio State or for Indiana, except Indiana was the underdog. And I didn't, so I went to bed at halftime. Silly me. And so I said, that's a sign that I should bring back my literature because the underdog won. And these are all underdogs, these animals. And so I've got a few more. I had a couple of people say, I didn't get a chance to get one of these. So I brought a few more with me. Imagine that. And then I'll put them out by the coffee urn, and you can read about what is speciesism. It's quite interesting. It's quite simple, and you all do a little bit of it. We don't eat our dogs and cats, but we eat all the other animals. So anyway, that's what this is about. And so congratulations to Indiana. That coach was so mellow, so solid. He didn't show any expression, particularly in his face. And then he, gosh, I'm sorry I missed. I can find a rerun. So I'll put some of these out here. So if you get a chance, call in and give her a little support. Thank you.
I just want to mention the coach was from Pittsburgh.
Good morning. My name is Marcella. I'm up here because I want to share with you the fact that I will be performing in Sun City. Everybody always asks me, when are you performing next? So I will be performing in Sun City on Tuesday at Pinckney Hall. It's a room there called the Edisto, and Sun City has an event called Irish Coffee. It will be from 5 to 7. And those of you that have come before and have heard my partner and I play, we have new songs, so it's not the same old songs. The other thing I'd like to mention is that my friend over here, Joanne, may be looking for a ride to the event because she and I planned on doing a duo together, but she was telling me she doesn't have a way to get there. So if someone would be kind enough to bring her, that would be appreciated. So hope to see some of your familiar faces. I know a lot of you have come out in the past to support me and Ryan, and I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And that was my special joy. Today is my 87th birthday, and I'm here. And there's multiple cakes out in the foyer, so plenty of things to celebrate. There is one actually gluten-free, too, so everybody can celebrate. So please do. It's a very happy occasion. And actually, I do remember Pearl Harbor. That was 1941, and I was 3 years old, and it's my first really remembrance, I believe. My mom was making baking a cake with my aunt, and the news came over the radio about the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and she just collapsed. I had older twin brothers who had enlisted in the service after high school, and she knew that they would be going to war, and she was just so overcome with worry about them. Luckily, they did survive. They survived, had a very wonderful life. They wound up running the fire department in my hometown. One was a fire chief, and the other was fire deputy chief. So they had a well-lived life. And I did too, so far. So thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Mary, and I've been in Florida. I went down to take care of my son who had back surgery after a year of suffering. And the great news is that I'm so grateful. It was a success. He's no longer in pain. So that's just so wonderful. Anyway, that's all. Thanks.
I have a small concern. Speaking of baking, I baked zucchini bread yesterday, and I knew the recipe was in the UU cookbook. So I used that recipe. I sent the recipe in, and it's my mother's fail-safe recipe. It's the best zucchini bread in the world. So I was baking it. Before I got to baking it, I was mixing all the ingredients, and I want to tell you, if you bought the cookbook and if you're giving it to somebody, add 2 cups of sugar to the zucchini recipe. It's good without the sugar, but the sugar makes it better. So I think it's on page 52. If you're giving it to someone, write in 2 cups of sugar before you wrap it up for them. So that's my concern.
So I hold it tight, Charlie? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Diana. I know I present kind of well. I mean, you know, like I'm not sick. But I have some pretty serious conditions, and I'm not whining. I'm not wallowing. I'm honoring my process, okay? That I do have medical issues that one is ITP, immune thrombocytopenia purpura. It means low platelet count, okay? I don't have the clotting factor, and it's been dipping very, very, very low, dangerously low. So I got to stay on top of that every week and get my treatment, and I'm doing it. But there's another one that I haven't really spent any time talking about, of course. I have vascular ischemic disease, which is not getting enough oxygen to the brain, okay? And it's affecting me in my interactions with people, so I am misunderstanding things and not remembering things. I mean, we all have that, right? Not remembering things. I mean, so, but that's the concern, is that I'm scared about that it might be a slippery slope. The joy is that I have all of you. Like, I was struggling. I was struggling today. And my friend Rosemary kind of took care of me a little bit. We shared the book. I did the best I could, and I felt proud of myself that I accomplished it. You know, it's the little things, you know, you come back to. So I'm grateful to be here. I feel tremendous joy. You guys and my family and friends are going to get me through this. Like all of us, right? We all have stuff. Nobody's off the hook, right? And that's what's wonderful about having a community like this, is that we genuinely care about each other. This is real. I don't take that for granted. This is a beautiful, beautiful place, and I feel blessed. Thank you.
Quickest thing I can possibly do. I have some issues I'm dealing with, and you know, so I'm driving here and so forth, and I was just, but then I walked in here, and Donna had a table of hats. Ellen, I'm sorry. Thank you for that compliment. Ellen had, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a friend right now. But, and you're a friend too, darling. But that just made me feel joyful. And I can't wait. I'm going to be the first out that door to get some of those hats. And I guess there's just a donation box or whatever. But it really lifted me up to see all that beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen.
Love you.
Good morning. My name's Tom, and I'm relatively new here, but I'd like to report out that last night was the Beaufort County Democratic Party Gala, and it was held in historic Penn Center, which is a very important part of our African American history. And the room was filled, and not only was it filled, it was filled with optimism and people looking forward to the future. We didn't see that last year. Second of all, the speaker was Congressman James Clyburn, who is a historic figure in that historic building, and that was certainly a treat. And let me tell you, he hasn't missed a step. At 85, he's just as vibrant and intellectual. And his 2 points were we need to be courageous, and we need to understand that the power of one. We each have a role to play in social justice. And third, and maybe a little more frivolous, it was a cocktail attire, semi-formal, and I want to report out that when Democrats put their mind to it, they clean up pretty well.
Hi, I'm Kat. Tomorrow is my daughter Maggie's 4th birthday, and we love her. And so say happy birthday. She's wearing a purple Ellen hat, so you'll recognize her in the lobby.
I will place 2 stones in the cairn. Oh, I'm sorry, John. Sorry, John.
That's okay. I have a joy, and I'm John, and last Friday night was our Hilton Head Choral Society Christmas program, and we were packed, and many people from this congregation were there, and it was so wonderful to have that. So we did part of the Messiah, and then some familiar carols, but you know, they were versions of those carols. So anyway, it was a wonderful showing, and happy to have it done it. Kathy was in that group, as was Amy, who was with the little children this morning.
I'll place 2 stones in the cairn for all of the joys and concerns that remain in our hearts. I will also put 1 stone in the large vase for all the children who were affected by gun violence.
In your bulletin is the affirmation. If you would, please turn with me to number 560, 560. May we join our hearts together in this affirmation. People say, what is the sense of our small effort? They cannot see. We must lay one brick at a time, take one step at a time. A pebble can cast this pond, causes ripples that spread in all directions. Each one of our thoughts, words, and deeds is like that. No one has a right to sit down and feel hopeless. There's too much work to do. The words of Dorothy Day. Thank you so much. This is the time now for our new member welcome. I'm going to turn this over to Kathleen to give us some direction and herd these cats, and we'll be able to greet 9 new members.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to invite members of the membership committee to come forward and stand behind our table as we welcome new members. And I'm also very conscious of the time. And so we will move this along as best we can while still giving honor to our new members. Today, we have the privilege of welcoming 9 people who have signed our membership book this year. As your name is read, please come forward and you can stand right here, form an arc, 9 people. Janice Bova and Chris Bova, Greg Barnes, Gloria Owens, Jerry Reike, Eileen Carlson, Sue Corsdale Dahl, and Kathy Smith. And I think I'm missing one person because there should be 9 and I only have 8. Who am I missing? Susan, I have Susan. Well, welcome. Welcome to our members. Good. Okay, go ahead.
Right, and I'm Ann Harrison, and I'm just gonna add a couple of new names to that list. Dick Gennardo will be signing the membership book today. And also, on November 26th, Josie Ray Furby turned 18. I know, full name, full disclosure. She turned 18 and made the decision that she too would like to become a member, and she will be signing the membership book today as well.
Oh, please join the group. Please come right over here, join the group. Oh, okay. Okay, great. Charlie. Charlie, come on over here.
So, here in this church, human beings have gathered seeking a higher purpose and a deeper meaning of life than they can find alone. We are grateful today for each of you that you have found your way here, that you have decided to make a commitment to this faith community. We hope that as a member of this church, you will allow yourselves to know, to be known, to minister to be ministered unto, to love, and to be loved by this congregation. We never really know what combination of fate and friendship and good luck it is that brings certain people together in this world, but we believe that membership in the church calls each of us to celebrate the fate that has drawn us together and to regard each one as a spiritual friend and a potential teacher. Welcome.
As members of this church, we pledge to be guardians of each other's spirits, to respect the ultimate privacy of each one's human struggle, and to believe in each one's inherent dignity. Will the congregation please rise and join with me in joining our newest members?
We're going to do this as a call and response because it didn't make it to your bulletin. So I will say a sentence and then please repeat after me. In the bonds of fellowship and love, we unite to cultivate reverence. In bonds of fellowship and love, we unite to cultivate, to promote spiritual growth and ethical commitment. to minister to each other's needs and to those of humanity. To celebrate the sacred moments of life's passage and to honor the holiness at the heart of being. That's long, I'll start again. To celebrate the sacred moments of life's passage. And to honor the holiness at the heart of being.
On behalf of the congregation, it is my privilege to welcome you to this community bound by a shared quest for truth, goodness, and beauty. We do not promise final answers to life's ultimate questions, but instead the high adventure of seeking together. We invite you to share our concerns for justice and peace, that we might better shape the meanings of our lives and build a better world.
And now our 11 new members. It's great. We have a surprise entries. That's great. We'll do the same call and response. New members only. We accept your invitation. We come believing that our lives can be enriched by the relationship we now enter with you. We come believing that our lives can be enriched by the relationship we now enter with you. New members, we wish to share the joys and responsibilities of this congregation. Thank you. As members of a community ever becoming, we welcome you. Mindful of our heritage and hope, we pledge to walk beside you in celebration, growth, and service. We welcome you all to this community with our hearts. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And we'll get you.
We're going to, let's can the last hymn. Good idea? Dr. John. Isn't it great to be in a place that's growing? It really is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. However, we're running late. It's okay. But we're not going to sing the last hymn, just to let you know in advance, okay? And I will attempt to speak faster. I'll just go faster and faster and faster. No. This sermon's divided into two different parts, fact and fantasy. And so I want to let you know that I'm going to start with fact, and I will let you know when I get into fantasy, okay? Because that's coming. Her name is Nat. She's a real person. She has since passed away. But when I met her, she was in her mid-90s. She was short, barely more than 5 feet, if even 5 feet. She was sharp mentally. She was opinionated. She was outspoken. And she was also hard of hearing. I met her in a little neighborhood group that my wife and I were part of for quite a while. I thought it was a good way to meet neighbors. It was an ecumenical group, and it was called the Early Birds. The only disadvantage to the Early Birds was they were really early. We met at 7 o'clock every Monday morning. I don't think I'd join them again, by the way, but that's another issue. One morning, after we have our little program, people would sit around and have coffee and socialize. And I noticed that Nat was sitting by herself, which was pretty unusual. She was a pretty outgoing person, and she was knitting. She was knitting away to beat the band and appeared happy. But I decided, gee, it's too bad that she's alone. And so I went over and sat beside her. And we exchanged small talk while she continued to knit for quite a while. You know those knitters, they never stop knitting, do they, back? No. There they are, right there. She tells me that's crocheting and it's different, but I say, it's yarn. So, okay. All right. So there I am sitting with Nat having a little conversation. And finally, there's a little pause, and she looks up at me, because I was taller than she was. She says, just what do you Uniterans believe? And I said, well, Nat, it's not Uniterans. It's Unitarians. And she looked at me and said, that's just what I said, Uniterans. Hard of hearing. I sympathize with her. And so it's 7 o'clock in the morning, or maybe by that time it's 7:45. I've had a couple of cups of coffee, and now she asks me this question, and I want to tell you, I flubbed it so bad. All I did was give her, well, spirit of life, 7 principles. But I gave her word salad that would make Donald Trump proud. That is the single most embarrassing moment that I have had in terms of being a minister. I've had other embarrassing moments in my life, but that was by far the worst. And for probably 15 years, I have tried in my mind once in a while to figure out, what should I have said to Nat? I really flubbed it bad. Now we get to fantasy. Okay, I want to make sure that you understand that. I should have said to Nat, you know, Nat, that knitting that you have in front of you is really a template for our Unitarian Universalist faith. I probably didn't say Universalist because she murdered Unitarian. Can you imagine what she would have done to Universalist? I kept it. It's strictly a Unitarian. If you look at that, your knitting, I think that would help you because it helps me figure out what my faith really is. Oh, she looked up at me and said, all right, sort of in a challenging way. All right, well, I'll listen to you. And I said, well, first of all, Nat, your blanket, she was knitting a baby blanket of some sort. Orange and purple, but we'll get into that later. It's not finished, Nat. Your blanket is not finished. And in a way, that's similar to what our beliefs are, that we're not finished. We don't believe that we have all the answers. We don't believe that all the answers are even out there somewhere. Somehow we believe that, and now I'm going to use terms that I would use with Nat, God is still revealing himself. We might not use those terms today, but I think that it has meaning. God is still creating among us, and that we are still open to learning more about our universe, more about our relationships with one another, and more of our relationships with whatever we want to call the divine, if we even want to use that term. Now, because of that openness and incompleteness that we believe in, we sometimes get a bad rap. We get a rap that says, oh, wow, you Unitarans, you don't have to believe anything. That's not true. That is not true at all. However, we reject any set of beliefs or any book or any pope or any prophet or anyone who simply presents to us a package of all the things we need to know and says, you just accept this, that's all you need to know. That is the world complete. Well, I'm sorry, folks, but we Unitarans believe that the world is incomplete. And that's a fundamental part of our religious heritage. Okay, Nat, let's again look at your knitting. Look at your knitting. And one of the things you notice when you knit, and I don't knit, but I have a spouse who knits quite a bit, is that each and every stitch is important. That it's not just a mumble jumble, that there's some kind of order that brings beauty to the creation. You can see that when you go and look at Ellen's table after church, after worship today. That there is an order and there is a beauty in each and every stitch. And that's a template, really, for how we believe we need to relate to people. That all people are important, because all those stitches are equally important, and that they're all essentially good. That's the universalist part of us, our faith. By the way, that we believe that in spite of all the bad things that people can do, and they have been doing a lot of them lately, everyone has within them the spark of goodness. And because of that, we need to respect the dignity of each and every individual. Does not mean we agree with them. It does not mean they're always doing the right things. But as part of our faith, we say that each and every person has essential goodness. That gets us in trouble when we hear our president refer to a group of immigrants as garbage. The very fact that a leader would say something like that anyone would say something like that, is offensive to the very inherent belief in our Unitarian Universalist faith that says there is good in each and every individual, that God created us all equal, and that, again to use theistic terms, God loves us all, even if perhaps we don't return that love as we should. Also, look at that knitting again, and let me describe how the knitting relates to what we call our interdependent web. Ooh, there's a fancy word. You folks who are new, you might not have heard that term yet, but we Unitarans have been bandying about that term now for quite a while, for at least 20 or 30 years. And the belief is simply that what we do as an individual has an effect far greater than simply our behavior. Seems pretty obvious until you get into things like world peace, global warming, activities that generate love rather than hate, that we are part of an interdependent web, and how we behave and how we act and what we say and how we work with other people affects far greater out. Think of a stone that's thrown into the pond and the ripples that take place. To use an analogy, different, but really it's the same with the interdependent web, and it's the same with Nat's knitting. If one stitch, if we puncture a hole in it, the entire texture of the knitting, of the blanket, is hurt, if not ruined. And that's important to us. That idea of the interdependent web, Nat, is really very important. And we believe in acceptance. I don't happen to like purple and orange together, Nat, but by golly, if you think it's beautiful for your blanket, it's your blanket, respect to the individual, not mine, and I am not going to demean it, I'm not going to criticize it, and I'm not going to forbid you from donating it to the hospital so that a young baby can have that as the baby leaves, your blanket when the baby leaves the hospital. So simple. Acceptance of difference is an inherent part of our faith. And finally, Nat, we believe in love. And Nat, it's easy for me to say that word because, you know, everybody talks about love all the time, blah, blah, blah. And it's tossed around, that word, in good people and people that aren't so good. But it is really the core of our religious belief system and of our faith. We believe in love as partially physical attraction. We believe in family love. We believe in love of country. But we also have another realm of love that sometimes doesn't get identified that way, but is really important. And that's what I'm going to call the love of the unseen. That it is not simply enough for us Unitarans to love what's right around us. That the responsibility of love also is the responsibility for people that we frequently cannot see, people who we frequently choose to ignore, people who sometimes make us uncomfortable. Think about that. That means that we love, in today's terminology, immigrants, people of different gender selection, people of different races, people who, unfortunately, in general, we don't see much of us in our lily white congregation, and we're not the only Unitarian Universalist church that is darn close, not complete, but darn close to lily white. But part of our faith is our obligation to love the people who we don't see, who we can't see, to love the people who are oppressed and frequently denied basic rights. And in fairness, Nat, we have a pretty good history, us Unitarans, because we're very active as abolitionists during the period before the Civil War, and certainly our track record in the civil rights movement in general, in the peace movement, and now in the movement to recognize various gender differences. We do our part. We don't do enough, obviously. The giving of love is never enough. It's never complete. But we do at least do our part, and we believe that part of our faith is loving the unseen. So Nat, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad that you're still knitting that green and purple blanket. even though green and purple, in my judgment, don't go together, but that's not my call. And I would say to you, Nat, that your knitting that blanket is in exactly what I'm talking about. You will never see, not likely, the baby that gets the blanket. But knitting the blanket is an act of love. So there, Nat, you have it. And whereas she smiled before and looked up at me at the beginning of this conversation with a certain amount of disgust and uneasiness because all I could give her was word salad, I have now completed what I can believe is a much better examination of our religious faith. And I just picture Nat sitting there with the knitting on her lap, looking up at me and smiling and saying, why, you Ninevians, you're not all that bad. You're pretty good, okay? And I would say, thank you, Nat. Have a good day.
First, Dick, thank you so much, and I also want to thank Nat for the inspiration for that message. That was truly meaningful, I think it was to me. Melissa, Sarah, Rick, Allie, Melissa, Martha, Celeste, I think that's all of you that are guests here today. You need to know that you make us complete this morning. Every time you come here and into this place, and every time we gather together, we make each other complete, and I thank you for the completion of this work here in this place today. Dick Hood, if you would please, your closing remarks.
Closing words are from a Unitarian minister in the 19th century, a fairly famous minister, even though he was rejected by a good portion of his Unitarian colleagues at the time. His name was Theodore Parker, and he wrote these words: "Be ours a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere. Its temple, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Its profession of faith, divine living. Go in peace."
Please stand if you're willing and able, and join with me in extinguishing the chalice. And again, the words are in your order of service. While we extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, until we are together again.
Oh, thank you. Rather than just give a talk, you encompass it with something that's visual. Yeah, the uniterans.